Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos a la conferencia de prensa frente al partido de mañana del Leagues Cup entre el New York City FC y León. Welcome everyone to today's press conference ahead of tomorrow's Leagues Cup match between New York City FC and León. To start, we have midfielder Maxi Moralez. Para empezar, estamos con el mediocampista Maxi Moralez. Empezamos con las preguntas. Si desean hacer una pregunta, levanten la mano en Zoom y le daré la palabra. Empezamos con Israel. Adelante.
Gracias, gracias. Buenos días. Maxi, te saluda Israel Romo de TUDN acá en la ciudad de León, Guanajuato. Recordar pasado por acá, ¿no? Un poquito de pasado. No fue mucho lo que pudiste jugar con León, pero de aquí te fuiste a Nueva York. Recuerdo que alguna vez regresaste por tus cosas y todo decías, estoy contento porque estoy jugando. ¿Te imaginabas lo que iba a pasar contigo en esta carrera en Nueva York y sobre todo que te ibas a enfrentar a un ex equipo pasado el tiempo? Gracias.
Bueno, hola, hola a todos. Sí, la verdad que fue un año, fue corto y rápido el paso, pero bueno, la verdad que sin duda uno aspira siempre a jugar, a poder disfrutar y bueno, por ahí en León costó un poco, pero bueno, después tuve la suerte, bueno, ya de venir para acá y estar casi ya 8 años acá en el club, en esta ciudad. Y bueno, el destino eh, nos puso ahora que juguemos mañana en contra, después de un largo tiempo. Y nada, feliz, feliz porque bueno, también tengo gente que aún sigue en el club, volver a encontrarlos y bueno, siempre es lindo también poder enfrentar un equipo de la Liga MX que bueno, sabemos los intensos que son los partidos.
Continuamos con Orlando Castellán. Orlando, adelante.
Gracias. Buen día, Maxi. Orlando Castellán, Servicio Informativo en Deportes aquí en la Ciudad de México. Eh, Hoy, ¿cómo se encuentran ustedes anímicamente, futbolísticamente? ¿Cómo están después de esa derrota que tuvieron ante Puebla? ¿Y qué tan complicado va a ser el partido de mañana ante este equipo de León que viene de empatar, pero perdió en penales y van mañana a querer sacarse esa espinita con ustedes y también ustedes quieren seguir vivos en esta Leagues Cup? ¿Cómo están ustedes y cómo enfrentar a este equipo leones? Gracias.
Sí, sabemos el traspié que tuvimos en la primera jornada, la verdad que no era el resultado que al menos buscábamos y esperábamos. Sin duda sabíamos que iba a ser difícil, más allá de que Puebla no está bien en la Liga MX, que recién empiezan, pero bueno, creo que ellos abrieron el marcador muy temprano, apenas al comienzo, y bueno, ya después ahí se nos complicó. También, bueno, nosotros por el calendario también tuvimos que rotar a algunos jugadores, el entrenador tuvo que rotar y bueno, después sin duda, mañana es un rival complicadísimo con grandes jugadores. Sabemos la urgencia que tenemos nosotros también de tener que ganar, porque bueno, si no ya estamos afuera y no en lo que esperamos, así que va a ser difícil, trataremos de lucharlo, porque bueno, va a ser un partido apretado, pero bueno, sabemos las necesidades que tenemos y ellos también, así que ojalá que sea un buen partido y podamos nosotros quedarnos con los 3 puntos.
We'll continue with Chris Campbell. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Maxi. Chris Campbell from the outfield. Just wondering how you are doing and feeling physically. You've played a high number of minutes for the team so far this year. You recently had the long road stretch in hot weather. And I know you got the night off the other night, but just wondering how you are feeling physically. Thanks.
Ah, I feel very good. So just the coach decide to rest last game. So, but they still I'm fine physically, mentality, everything. So I'm ready for tomorrow. Hopefully, I don't know, depend the coach if I play or no. But if I play, I'm very good. I tell before, physically, mentality, everything. So I wish stay tomorrow in the game. It's a nice game for me. So that's it.
We'll continue with Robert Abramowitz. Robert.
Hola Maxi, Roberto Abramovich, ya sabes, de New York City FC Radio. Este, una pregunta en dos porciones. ¿Qué tanta frustración sentiste el no haber estar jugando y viendo cómo estaba jugando el equipo contra Puebla? ¿Y cuál es el sentimiento en el vestidor enfrentando a León, sabiendo que las posibilidades de clasificar a la segunda vuelta se dificultaron bastante con el resultado del martes?
No, es frustración el resultado, más que nada. Después, bueno, son decisiones que toma el entrenador y, bueno, nosotros las tenemos que aceptar. Sin duda buscó la mejor manera de enfrentar y poner los mejor que él veía. Y lamentablemente, bueno, fue el resultado que no esperábamos. La verdad que es esa frustración porque, bueno, también hicimos, creo, méritos para marcar, tuvimos ocasiones. El arquero de ellos ha tenido una buena noche, así que, pero bueno, no era la idea empezar de esta manera. Pero bueno, sabemos también mañana la influencia que tiene este partido, que el resultado que tenemos que sacar, el único que nos sirve poder ganarlo. Pero bueno, sabemos que tenemos 90, 95 minutos, 100 minutos para poder lograrlo. Va a ser difícil, pero bueno, creo que tenemos equipo para poder lograrlo y sacar un buen resultado.
Gracias, Maxi.
We will go back to Chris Campbell. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Maxi, Chris Campbell from the outfield again. Just wondering if you can kind of talk about the addition of Nico Fernandez to the team. It's another young Argentinian player joining your squad along with Julian and Agustin Ojeda. Just curious if you can kind of talk about the few minutes you have gotten with him so far and what he brings to the squad, both in the locker room and on the pitch. Thank you.
Yes, is our DP player, so he have excellent quality. It's just the last game he played 45 minutes, play good. So and for us is up front, especially when we have the ball, he have the ball. He have a shooting pass, especially for Luke Alonso, our striker. So after that, this shows us maybe he play tomorrow. I don't know, but he's try to help like a team to push more, put more in the field. So for us, just try to help him to adapt the more quick as possible and try to help to try to the best game for him and that's it. After that, the coach decide if he play or not, but he is ready for play more minutes.
Y con esa pregunta terminamos, Maxi. Muchísimas gracias por tu tiempo. Thank you, everyone. We'll have head coach Pascal Janssen join
Thank
us
you.
shortly. We now have New York City head coach Pascal Janssen. Welcome, coach.
Thank you.
We'll go straight to questions. Robert, you're up first.
Hi, good afternoon, Pascal.
Hi, Robert.
It was a difficult result, obviously, Tuesday, and the way the standings are and only 4 teams qualifying to the next round, how do you view the next game against León? How do you go into it?
The next 2 games are crucial for us because of this first result. We got smacked in the first game, a little unfortunate. We went behind very early in the game. A big error on our side, and the same was for the second goal. Completely unnecessary, but they punished us for our mistakes. You didn't get the result that we were looking for in order to start this tournament the way we wanted to. So the next 2 games are crucial, starting with this first one tomorrow. So it's quite clear what we have to do.
Continue with Orlando Castellán. Orlando, adelante.
Gracias. Buen día, profesor Orlando, que está en Servicio Informativo en Deportes aquí en la Ciudad de México. Preguntarle cómo se encuentra el equipo anímicamente después de esa derrota ante Puebla y qué podemos esperar mañana de su equipo ante este equipo de León, que también quiere sacar su triunfo y seguir vivo en esta Leagues Cup, así como ustedes. ¿Cómo estarán ustedes para el partido de mañana? Gracias.
How is the team feeling after the defeat against Puebla, and what can we expect against León tomorrow?
Oh yeah, well, as I mentioned to your colleague just now, we got smacked in the first game, so the team is very hungry and willing to get a better result in the second game. Of course, it hurts when you lose a game, but especially with 3 goals against a no goal score, that hurts. So we will take this pain into the next game and make sure that we have a good response going into this second game. And Leon has played 1 game as well, so we're up for a big challenge in this next game, but very, very determined to have a better result and a stronger performance than we did in game number 1.
We'll continue with Chris Campbell. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, Chris Campbell from the outfield.
Hi, Chris.
You've now had some time to digest the result even further against Puebla. What does the team need to do better that it didn't do well enough against Puebla? And are there any positives you can take away from that first match?
Well, the positive was the second half of obviously when we made a couple of changes, and once a few other guys came on pitch, we created a few good looks and a good moments in order to get back into that game. But the biggest lesson was learned in the first half. The way we started our game, conceding from the set piece like we did, and not sticking by our principles, that came back to us, and it hurt us really bad. And given the fact that you play games at this level against strong Mexican sides, it's going to be very hard to get back into a game. But we did that. We tried that in the second half. We had our moments to get back into the game, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough. So that is the biggest takeaway going into the second game, making sure that we get everything right in order to have a bigger chance of a better result.
And if I can follow up, when you say not sticking to your principles, can you elaborate on what those principles are?
Well, this first goal is quite simple. We have a certain organization set up for corners. The defensive structure is very clear, and you see at the moment that the header is being played in the far end of the goal. We should have pushed the line, and there was one player that didn't stick by the principles. And that's the reason why the guy who made the finish was onside, and there should have been 3 or 4 players from this opponent should have been offside. So these things need to be spot on in these type of games, because if you don't have them spot on, you get punished like we did in the first game.
A reminder to please use the raise hand function if you do have any questions. Chris Heniage, go ahead first, and then we'll go back to Chris Campbell.
Hi, Pascal. The short turnaround, how does that help in terms of, if not processing the game, but maybe putting it behind you and getting a chance to rectify the situation?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm all for that, and so are my players in the dressing room. It gives you little time to think and focus on the next game is priority. However, like we've done from game number one in this season, we always take our moment to reflect and review, and that's what we've done also. And it's quite clear if we want to be a bigger part in this or play a bigger part in this tournament, a few things have to be done differently. And if you get the chance to play a next game in a few days, that always helps getting the focus right and making sure you go into this next game with that plan.
Chris, go ahead with your other question.
Hey, Pascal, Chris Campbell from the outfield once again. Nico Fernandez has been on a minutes count for the last two games. Is he still going to be having his minutes managed this next game, or is he going to be a little bit more open for as many minutes as possible? And then what challenges do you see Leon presenting on Friday? Thanks.
Regarding Nico, yeah, that's the thing, and that's what I explained after the game as well. Nico has just joined us, and a lot has come his way, and we have to make sure that he stays available and becomes better and stronger as we move forward. However, that's balancing between two worlds because we know he's a good player, and we need him in the team to perform better as a team. So that is the balance that we have to maintain also in this process, but. Having him on field is priority, and we'll see how far he can get in this second game and take it from there. Leon is a good team. They have quality players, especially up front, and one of the guys plays as a winger or maybe even as a midfield player. Interesting guy. Technical qualities again, like we all already expected in game one in game one, as I said. Troubled start in the Mexican League, but I saw some highlights on game day already, them playing against Montreal, and the past 2 days have been quite informative, getting as much knowledge about this team going into this match. Front two with James and the striker, interesting players, quality players also, aggressive fullbacks in their play style approach. But we have discovered multiple areas and possibilities to get more from this game, game number two.
We'll go to the two final questions. We'll start with Robert Abramowitz, and then we'll go to Chris Heniage for the final question. Robert, go ahead.
Pascal, your defense had been one of the more solid defenses in the league until Thiago Martins got injured. You've allowed 6 goals in the last 2 games. What does the defense need to do to be able to aptly replace him? Because obviously he's going to be gone for at least a month, if not more. So what you've got to live with. How does the team have to improve in that area?
That's also a good question. That is something that we've been asking ourselves from day one when once we got the information that Thiago would be out of the team for a while. You've seen in the game against Dallas, we started with Tavon Gray in the middle. We finished with Tana in the middle. So we have multiple options to occupy that position. But the one we mustn't forget, who was also a part of the most consistent phase in the season, is Berg Risa. He left as well. So we've had a couple of changes in the back four. And that is something that we are trying to find the right balance again. And that happens on the training pitch, of course, and that happens during the games. And unfortunately, we conceded 6 goals in 2 games, which is way too much for us and our standards. So we've been handling our business in the past 2 days in order to come out stronger and better in this second game, and hopefully we will present ourselves better than we did in game one.
We'll go to the final question. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. You've talked about the quality of the Mexican opposition here. There's a number of young players in this squad. How is that exposure to not only quality opposition, but perhaps a different footballing culture beneficial for their development?
Yeah, that's a very interesting one, because that is also one of the interesting aspects of this tournament. You get to experience the Mexican culture, the way they play. Game one, as I mentioned to my players going into that game, was very clear. It's not a friendly game. It's competition played at the edge of the game and making sure that everybody is as aggressive as we should have been. But if you look at the game itself, it's interesting because within 10, 15 minutes, I think the game was already delayed for 5, 6, 7 minutes, with players dropping down on the floor and either faking injuries or having real concerns. But it was way off. So you could see it's not a friendly character. It's about winning, and we didn't show enough maturity in that area in this game, because we were way too kind in certain parts of this game, and that is something that obviously was a point of concern, but also addressed going into this second game, and that is also one of the big takeaways going into the second game, and hopefully we'll do better in game number 2.
Thank you, Coach, for your time. That is all we have for today. Muchas gracias a todos, and thanks everyone for joining.